Statement of Billy, recorded by Deputy Sheriff Romero, 1880 July 22nd, 1879, somewhere between the Capitian Mountains and the town of Lincoln, New Mexico. A 19-year-old young man named Billy, who was on the run from the authorities, came across something horrific. What he witnessed over the next several days was unbelievable. My name's Billy, and back then I was just 19, on the run from the law for stealing a horse. I wasn't a killer or anything like that. I was just scared, stupid, and trying to survive. I figured the wild between the Capitian Mountains and Lincoln was safer than any jail cell. I'd been living out there for weeks, eating dried meat, drinking creek water, staying off trails. That afternoon, the sun was beating down hard. I was following a shallow game path when the air changed. Thick, sour, like meat gone bad. Then I saw the camp. At first, I thought it was just an old wagon stop. 2 busted-up carriages, a few supplies left behind. But something felt wrong, real wrong. And then I saw the bodies. They were everywhere, scattered around the clearing. Men, women, even 2 children, 15 in total, all laid out like fallen dolls. But it was their faces that stopped me cold. Every one of them had a hole in their head, not torn or smashed, bored like someone had drilled straight through. Some had the hole right between the eyes, others behind the ear or in the cheek, and there wasn't a drop of blood. I got closer, thinking maybe I was seeing it wrong. But I wasn't. The holes were clean, too perfect. No way an animal could have done it. No blade I'd ever seen could make a wound like that. That's when the smell hit me, fresh rot, like something had just died. I stumbled back and made for the stream nearby, dunking my head in cold water. My heart was racing. I tried to tell myself it was a massacre, bandits, maybe sickness, but I knew better. Nothing human did that. I made it back to my camp just before dark. Wasn't much, just a little clearing, a tarp tied low between rocks, and a fire pit. I didn't light the fire, didn't want to be seen. I lay there, wrapped in my blanket, eyes wide open. The forest around me was dead quiet. Then I heard it. Something was moving in the brush, slow, careful, but not hiding. I froze, listening. Under the moonlight, I saw it, a figure, tall, thin, too thin, standing just at the edge of the trees. I couldn't make out its face, but the way it stood, it wasn't right, like its limbs were too long, like it didn't know how to move like a man. I reached for my rifle. My fingers brushed the stock, and just like that, it vanished. No sound, no running, just gone. I didn't sleep a second that night. Next morning, I told myself I had to eat. Whatever was out there, I couldn't face it starving. I slung my rifle and headed deeper into the woods. By noon, I spotted an elk, big one, grazing alone. I took the shot, clean through the neck, and dragged it back. I skinned it quick, cut what I could carry, and headed for camp. I cooked the meat over a small fire. It smelled good, but my appetite was gone. I felt eyes on me, like the trees themselves were watching. I ate anyway, forced it down. I needed the strength. That night, the silence returned. No insects, no wind, just stillness. I laid back down with my rifle across my chest, and then something lifted me. I didn't see it, didn't hear it, just felt my whole body rise into the air like I weighed nothing. Before I could even yell, I was slammed into something hard, a rock, I think. My back lit up with pain. I couldn't breathe. I scrambled to my feet, heart pounding, and I ran. Left my fire, left my meat, even left my horse behind. I didn't stop running until morning. I don't remember sleeping. I just kept walking. miles away from that place, but I couldn't stop thinking about what I saw, what I felt, and like a fool, I went back. I told myself I needed my horse, my gear, but that wasn't the truth. I needed to see if it was real, or if I'd gone mad out there. When I got back to camp, it was wrecked, my tarp torn apart, my bags gone, and my horse, his head had been severed, cleanly, like it had been done with one perfect cut. The body, it had holes, just like those people, perfect, round, in places that shouldn't be possible. I didn't stay to think. I ran. I didn't care if the law caught me anymore. I just wanted out, away from those woods, away from whatever that thing was. I don't know what I saw out there, but it wasn't natural. It wasn't right, and it's still out there. I ran until my lungs burned. My legs gave out somewhere along a dry ridge, and I collapsed beside a rock, gasping. I didn't know how far I'd gone. I just knew I was still alive, and that thing, whatever it was, hadn't followed me. Yet, the air felt heavy, like the woods were holding their breath. No birds, no bugs. Even the trees seemed quiet. I didn't sleep that night either. The next morning, I picked a direction and walked. I wasn't trying to get to Lincoln. I wasn't trying to get anywhere. I just needed to be far from what I'd seen. But the forest didn't let me go easy. That night, I made camp under a rocky overhang. I didn't build a fire. I didn't eat. I sat with my back to the stone and my rifle across my lap. Then came the sound. Not footsteps, breathing, not mine. It was slow, deep, just beyond the dark. I gripped the rifle so tight my hands went numb. I couldn't see anything, but I knew it was there, watching, breathing, and then the whisper. Not a voice exactly, just a sound, like wind through hollow bone. It wasn't in my ears, it was inside my head. I clamped my hands over my ears, shut my eyes tight, and begged it to stop. It did, but I could still feel it, not gone, just waiting. I woke up on the ground. I don't remember falling asleep. I don't even remember closing my eyes. I only knew the sun was up and the trees felt closer than before. My horse was gone, and I had nothing but the clothes on my back, a knife, and a half-empty canteen. I walked again. By sundown, I found a narrow ravine. Looked like someone had tried to set up camp there long ago. Blackened stones from a fire ring, rusted tin plates, bones buried in dirt. Not animal bones. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. Something about that place felt familiar. The ground, the slope of the rocks. It was too much like the first camp I found, the one with the 15 bodies. Except now, there were no bodies. No wagons, no signs of the people, only the smell. That sweet, sick smell of rot. And in the center of the clearing was something I hadn't seen before. A circle of stones, perfectly laid out. Inside it, a tall wooden pole stood jammed in the ground. Hanging from it was a piece of cloth, or what I thought was cloth. When I got closer, I realized it was skin, dried, weathered, like someone had peeled it clean and tacked it up to mark territory. I didn't camp that night. I walked straight into the dark, just trying to put space between me and that place. Somewhere past midnight, I heard it again. That whispering breath, that hum in my skull. And then I saw it, just for a second. A shape crouched in the trees, its arms too long, its back arched like it didn't know how to hold itself up, its head tilted sideways as if it was trying to understand me. I raised my rifle, but before I could fire, it moved, not ran, shifted, from crouch to upright in an instant. The trees didn't rustle. The ground didn't crunch. It was just gone. but I felt its eyes long after. I must have walked in circles because by dawn, I found myself back at the elk carcass I'd left days earlier. What was left of it anyway? The meat had been carved away with surgical precision. The rib cage was clean, picked, but not by any animal I know. And in the skull, right behind the eye socket, was that same hole. Perfect, clean, unnatural, just like the others. I didn't stop after that. I didn't sleep. I didn't drink. I just kept walking. My skin itched. My teeth hurt. I felt like I was being pulled in two different directions. One part of me running for my life, the other part being dragged back towards something I couldn't explain. Something old. Something watching. I don't remember much about the last day in those woods. My memories come in flashes. Footsteps crunching leaves. My breath ragged. Trees that looked like they were closing in. Sometimes I felt like I was walking in circles. Other times I swore I was being led somewhere. Not by tracks, not by sight, by something else. By it. The thing I kept seeing in glimpses. That long, crooked outline. Those eyes I never really saw, but could feel pressing on my back like hot coals. I started talking to myself. I think I said things out loud just to remind myself I was still real, still human. The more I wandered, the more I felt like something was trying to take that from me. I passed places I didn't recognize. Trees snapped clean in half. Stones stacked in patterns I didn't dare look at too long. Carcasses, birds, deer, even a bear, each with that same hollow hole in the head. Like something had reached inside and taken whatever made them living. And then somehow I came across my own camp again, or what was left of it. My tarp was shredded, my pack was torn apart. But what made me freeze was the smell. Not just rot, burnt hair. I found my horse's skull half buried in the ashes of my fire pit. The body was gone. The skull had been cleaned, like it had been part of some ritual. But more than that, it had that hole, perfect, right in the center of the forehead. Just like the settlers, just like the elk. Something had done that. Something careful, something that knew. I couldn't run anymore, so I did the only thing I had left. I walked out. I don't remember how I made it to the edge of the forest. I don't remember how I avoided wild animals or falling into a canyon or starving to death. All I remember is falling into the dirt road outside Lincoln and hearing the sound of wagon wheels. I was picked up by a rancher who thought I was a ghost. Took him 3 tries to get me to speak. I was half-starved, covered in scratches. My boots were gone. He took me into town, where they locked me up. Not for the horse theft, not right away. They just wanted to know what happened to me. So I told Deputy Romero everything, about the camp of the dead settlers, about the perfect holes in their skulls, about the thing that came to me at night, about the way it watched, moved, breathed. Romero didn't say much, but I could see it in his face. He didn't believe me. Nobody did. But I begged to take his men out there and see for themselves. They went. 3 deputies, 2 ranchers, and Romero himself. What they found was bones. Just bones. Scattered like someone had swept the place with a broom. They found the wagon, clothes, and tools of the settlers. Just bone piles, each with a small, round hole in the skull. Romero never spoke to me again after that. They locked me up for the horse I stole. I did my time, got out. But I never left New Mexico. I couldn't, because I know it's still out there, waiting, watching. People vanish in those mountains even now. Hunters, hikers, campers. They say it's coyotes, bandits, bad weather. But I know better. I saw it. I lived, and I don't know why it let me go. Maybe it was curious. Maybe it was hungry for something else.